Good afternoon. It's Maria here. I hope you are all well today and keeping warm and staying out of this stormy weather. It's certainly stormy here in Perth, so I thought that I would come to you and do a midweek card reading. I've just been on my channel and done some astrology readings as well. So if anybody's particularly interested in the August astrology and the Lionsgate activation, then have a look at the video that I've just uploaded in the astrology folder on this station. If you like content, then press like and subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And with all that being said, let's jump into the reading. So I pulled some oracle cards just to get a sense of the energy that's a particular point. And there is quite a lot going on. We have that Lionsgate activation happening on Monday the 8th, where there is a lot of cosmic downloads, a lot of higher beings, a lot of additional energy coming through to us, but also followed on the 12th or the 11th, depending on where you are in the world, the 12th here in Australia, with the full supermoon in Aquarius, truly asking us to look at who we are and to really be our authentic selves. And I've also done a video on that if that's something that interests you. So a time of great change for us. So here we have, with the Ascended Masters, we have this one, Kuthumi, Cloak of Wisdom. So what this card actually says is that you already know within yourself what you need to do in terms of those first steps forward and where you're moving at this particular point in time. So for those of you making or working your spiritual practice or making changes in any other area of your life, you have that cloak of wisdom, that knowledge within you, deep within you, where if you actually can really listen and tune in, that you can actually find all those answers. And this particular guide is coming in around you. He also has the Om up here, and if you know about the Om, it's the universal sound. It's a sound of clearing, but it also connects us to the universal consciousness. So if we are people who pray or meditate or are spiritual people, then it's actually telling us that we have that connection with Source at all times to actually bring us the information that we really need and to help us identify the next steps forward. Now, with these Sacred Traveler cards, these are sort of more process cards. We have two cards. The first one I pulled is First Light, and it says begin a new cycle. And the second one I pulled here is begin now, take your first step. So with this First Light, as we can see, there's a beautiful sun moving into a moon in the sky. There's lots of fresh growth here. It is a time of new beginnings, of new cycles within ourselves, where we're starting to move into more of who we're becoming, where we're going, and showing more of ourselves in terms of where we are trying to shine our light and the things that we're letting go of right now. There's a real shift and change. We're moving more into that, not only the heart space within us and opening and expanding our heart chakras and letting go of old beliefs and old systems and old things that are holding us back, but we're also connecting much more so, particularly with the energies coming in next week, with that higher heart energy, that higher unconditional love, which brings us into a beautiful space. And the card is next to it is saying, begin it now. So take your first step. So whether it's getting organized, setting up a meditation routine, just sitting quietly, maybe even just journaling whilst you're having a coffee. It's important to start with all of that. Now, this card here is the Light Worker card, and so it's actually talking about the Pleiades. Now, the Pleiades are a group of energy beings who have been here on the planet. They have a double mission, and basically their mission is about bringing in the light, bringing in love. Their aim is to bring light and love to humanity and to raise our vibration. And with this card here, I know I'm certainly connected to the Pleiades. There might be some of you as well who could also be, experiencing or remembering a time where you may have basically been connected to those energies at this particular point, particularly given that we have the energies next week, which will bring in more higher power energies and perhaps more energies of different places and timelines, where we could actually start to remember and really start to work more with where our soul has been and what it's here to do. And so that might be coming in for you as well. Next week with the Lionsgate activation, we do have the sun, which will be sitting in Leo, does activate a lot of these energies in Pleiades, and it asks us to look at how we're evolving, how we're growing, and to make the most of this in this lifetime. And what we need to do that with that energy of Leo is we really and truly need to expand into the energy of being who we are and being ourselves and actually shining on our journey and coming from a deep place of unconditional love, because Leo rules the heart, but also then actually reflecting on and really looking at your deepest fears as well, in terms of what needs to go in order that you can move forward and actually start to really shine the light of who you are and bring that into this world, and actually be the full expression of whatever you need to be. And I think that's probably part of the energy of what's happening here, because in this moon card, we have the first quarter moon and it says your commitment is being tested. So one of the things here is that we could be actually facing some sort of hurdle. And so one of the things that stops us sometimes is actually thinking about what is it that we really, really think or we want to believe is really, really possible. So maybe we're not always clear on what we think is possible, what we're wanting. And so it's saying to us, we're almost there, we're halfway there, there's more effort that we need to put in. We may be reconnecting to someone or something that was particularly important to us, but to ask ourselves, what is it really that we think is possible, and why is it possibly that we may be holding ourselves back as well from actually achieving that? So that commitment is being tested. But I think the really positive thing about this card is that it's telling us that with that, once we move into that, the next phase of the moon actually allows us to basically then start to really build on and make plans around all of that as well. So if we could just hang tight in there, actually really look at what's happening for us, then we could actually move through all of this, which is really, really powerful. So I also drew some tarot cards. So the first one I drew is the King of Earth. So basically there are 4 kings in 4 different suits. The King of Earth is basically, he's very financially successful. He's very charismatic. He's has wealth, maturity. He can put plans into actions. He's not always the most exciting, basically, king in terms of the tarot cards. I know I'm an earth sign myself, so I'm the Queen of Earth. So we've not always got lots of energy or emotion like the air signs or the earth signs, but we're very, very practical. And this is around looking at making sure that we're looking into our own practical and financial and material success and prosperity. We could also at this time with the king, because he is actually very successful, he has the Midas touch, he can make things happen. He can also be someone who's supporting us with our plans, really helping us put together stuff, and he's a really, really good person to work with on a very practical level around our material financial prospects, because he really, really comes in and he basically has the knowledge and experience to know how to help us and how to make things work. So that's the past energy. One of the things at the moment in terms of our current energy is that we have the awakening. So what's happening right now is that we could actually be just really stopping and reflecting, looking at what is coming forward and maybe seeing things in a whole new light, and actually looking at ourselves and where we're moving forward from. And there could be some really positive changes around all of that. I know for myself, pulling together some of the things I've been doing for my business, getting my information, etc., together, and the support of my mentor. Now is the time to really reflect, certainly for me and maybe for all of you too, where we're basically looking to go and where we're moving forward to, and how I see things, and it could be about seeing things in a whole new light. And certainly, I don't know about you, but I'm connecting with a lot more people at this particular point. I think a lot of us are, as we try and connect with our soul, our soul family, or people, like-minded people who actually also bring us opportunities to really change and look at what's important for us as well. And what comes in the future is the balance card, which I think is really, really important. So sometimes it's about creating something with other people. Sometimes it's bringing about different perspectives. It can also be about blending others' ideas. Like there could be other people who bring together the energy when you've had this reflection time, that bring together other ideas and other thoughts. You might move things forward. Could also of this process could be in this reflection time that you're working with other people. So maybe there's a need to actually compromise as well, and bring forward a lot of different ideas and diverse plans and different ideas, and also bring with that patience and balance, the need to try and pull all of that together as well. So it's a very practical week in terms of wherever we're moving forward, and knowing that we are moving forward in a really, really positive way with our plans as well. We also have, next we have the ego card. So sometimes what we do to ourselves, and this is a major arcana card, a number of these cards are, so these are issues within ourselves that we're really resolving. So sometimes we actually, with that ego, we actually allow ourselves to feel like we're trapped. Maybe we get caught up in our thoughts and ideas. We think this is the way a situation should be. But basically we then need to reflect and really see that by stepping up, by taking responsibility, by making those very concrete plans, and by reflecting sometimes in terms of where we're going, this can help us in making better choices that support you in a way that is making you happy. It also talks about addictions, because this card can be, it's a card of Capricorn, which is my card, in fact, and basically is the card of addictions or sometimes unhealthy choices. Certainly this month we have, with the sun moving into Virgo towards the end of this month on the August the 23rd, we're being asked to make some really practical plans around our health and our work situation as well. So this is also maybe reflecting that we need to reflect on and look at all those things so that we're actually moving forward from a positive place. And with what comes with when we actually move through all that, then move into a place of strength. And as you can see here, we have this woman who's sitting next to a lion quite nicely, and there's no sort of fear, no sort of anxiety or anything about where she's actually sitting. So she's actually moving into a real space of personal power, where she is really coming into herself here. This card is also connected to Leo, and also possibly some of the energies of change that are coming in with Lionsgate on Monday. So there can be a lot of, Leo tends to be not only very creative, but a very kind sign. Also, there's a lot of compassion that comes in. And basically there's maybe a sense, if you've been tested in this process and in this journey, maybe stepping into something that you're doing new here, that you're actually a lot stronger than you thought you were. You have a lot more abilities than you thought you were. And I think that's a really exciting part of the process as well. And finally, what comes is great news, happy news, celebration. This is the Three of Cups in the traditional tarot. So there's announcements. There's things we didn't expect that make us really, really happy. It could be for anybody, if there's, some of the material projects could be about work. It could be about particular relationships. This is also a card about pregnancies, if any of you are interested in that. It can be about graduation. But either way, whatever it is for you that brings in that sense of joy and happiness and celebration. There's also, this is a time to really and truly connect with people who are part of your soul family, or those like-minded people that you feel that are very close to and very aligned with. And that can be biological family, but it can also be people we call family and friends, and to bring with that a real sense of gratitude, because it's with gratitude that we change the energy of what's going on around us. And gratitude certainly shakes up everything in our world. And that's a very powerful place to all of us to sit, especially at these times when there is so much change, so many things going on, and yet we have so many things, we have so much abundance, particularly here in Australia. So we particularly given what's going on in the rest of the world. So there are many, many grateful things to think about and to be aware of every single day that we come, even if it's simple things like enjoying nature, being able to have good health, great food, a warm home, all of those things, good friends, people around you, opportunities to learn and grow and develop, and pets. For me, it's my cats. So I'm not sure what it is for you, but that's what it is for me. So I hope this has been a really positive energy for you, a positive reading for you. I certainly think there's a lot of practical things that are going to come together. And I think there's going to be a great sense of happiness and joy and excitement. So I wish you all the well and have a great week.